Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Today, I had a thought. I'm actually running out for an errand. This is not a Car Chronicles, but I had a thought this morning as I was getting ready to head out. And I purchased a Rose of Sharon almost 2 years ago. And it was supposed to be a white Rose of Sharon. It's a Rose of Sharon called Althea. Fell in love with the name, loved the picture on the container, got it from Tractor Supply. That was all they had on the shelf, if memory serves me correctly, was a white Rose of Sharon with the red neck called Althea. So I bought one along with a couple of other plants, and I put it in a huge container in the back of the garden. Well, it has begun to grow. It's grown nicely for the past year, almost two, and I think it's been 2 years. I have to double check. I'll post a video either here or here letting you guys see what I bought so you can see the picture of it, and you can see that it clearly was marked. Everything on the shelf was marked, but that's not what I got. So as it began to grow and bloom, it finally put on some blooms. When it does bloom, the blooms only stay open for 1 day and then the blooms fall off. So I wasn't catching it because, you know, it's in the back of the garden. It's under the shade cloth. Well, I've been back there watering and pruning and adding different seeds to the garden for my fall garden, and I noticed that the Rose of Sharon, the petals that fell to the ground were purple. And I kept saying to myself, that's odd. Now, why would the petals be purple? Because it's not supposed to be purple. Well, I believe I was sold a Rose of Sharon and Althea that is not white. It is purple. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to propagate that Rose of Sharon. I don't particularly want this color. I'm not a fan of pastel colors. I don't really care for pastel purple, but it's what I've got. So I am going to propagate this plant because I know it's very popular, and then I'll probably be selling it, giving some away. I may or may not keep it in my garden. It all depends, because like I said, I'm not a fan of pastel colors. And so as soon as I get back to the house, I will show you all what I'm talking about, and we will get into propagation. So I see you in a bit. An entire 24 hours has passed since I made my intro. Sorry. Life is lifing. I am in the back of the garden, and right over there is the Rose of Sharon. Let me take you in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, back here behind the asparagus is my Rose of Sharon plant. Y'all probably can't see it that well. Let's make some changes. That's better. This is the Rose of Sharon, and it is quite tall. It has already reached its max under here. And if I try to pull back the cover, you can see that it's topping the cover up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some clippings. What I'll probably do, I don't want to, but I might just go ahead on and I was thinking about just taking the tops off and make it bush. Just shear it right about to here and make it bush. In that case, it's not going to flower anymore because I'll be taking all the flowers off. As you all can see, maybe I hope you can see that. Those are flower petals, and I'm going to take some off, see if I can find any seeds. But I think I might just take one of the branches all the way down to the bottom and see what we have. Let's see. It looks like it is, looks like it's split right here, made two branches. This is a single branch. No, it looks like it has split itself 3 times. This is one whole branch right here, but it's split 1, 2, 3 times. So it's beginning to branch out. So I'm going to take a couple of these and we're going to see how we can propagate this. But what I'm going to attempt to do is get you all as close as possible up under here, and maybe you can see, and I hope you don't fall. I have tried to rig you guys up to the best way I possibly can, but if you can see, there are purple, they look purple to me. They look like purple blooms. So I'm going to take these blooms off, and I've already sanitized my shears. I'm going to cut these blooms off, and I'm going to take them and put them over here, and then I will see if I have any seed pods. There are mosquitoes under here, and I don't like mosquitoes. I don't think anybody likes mosquitoes, but I really could do without mosquitoes like forever and ever. Now, this new pot, let's put those down there. This new flower, it appears rosy, not necessarily purple. So I don't know if you all can see that, but that's like a reddish looking. And I have not seen these flowers open because it's under here and I'm not back here. So I don't see them open. I don't see anything that looks white. They look no, that's not it. That's the canna. But they look purple to me. And I'm not at all pleased with that. That was not what I wanted in my garden. I'm very particular with my color schemes, and having a purple lavender plant just isn't what goes in my color scheme. So I am going to take some propagations of this, and I'll probably take it out because I don't think I really want it, and I'm really upset about it. I need to actually see it bloom, but just from what I'm seeing, I'm not pleased. And the canna is already bending over this way. But I've taken the petals off, and the petals all appear to be purple, but it's weird because that one up there looks red. So I don't know. I need to see this bloom. So let's take a look and see how this is splitting off. This is one stem that's split off into 3. That's one stem. This is one stem that has split off into 3, 4. This is split off into 4. This is split off into 3. And then there's some shorter ones down here. They're not blooming. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to randomly take one. This appears to be the tallest. So I'm just going to go ahead on and snip it down here like that. And we'll start with this one. And we'll go from there. Okay, I took 3 stems and I put them in some rainwater. But what I like to do, and this is just me, but when I take a cutting of any kind and I put it in water, what I've begun to do is put some rooting hormone in the water, just a couple of taps, just a little bit. And before I start cutting it and taking the clippings and doing whatever with them, I make sure that they get immediately into some water so that they don't begin to dry up, if that makes sense. So I had already gone earlier today, not long ago, and I put water in this pot of soil. So let's see. Let's take a look at this. This looks purple to me. I don't know if you all can see that. Can you all see that? Let's change this petal. These petals look purple. And of course there aren't any seeds that I can see. I don't see any seeds. So I don't feel as if that's viable. This one looks like a much lighter purple, like it could have been white around the base of it, and then a light purple at the tips. No seeds that I can see. I'm looking in the center, not seeing any seeds. It would be nice if this was sterile. That way I wouldn't have seeds everywhere. I'm not seeing any seeds, but it does look purple. Like I said, this one looks like it has white, and then the tips are purple, but it looks purple to me. I really need to see it bloom. That would definitely let me know what's what. This flower didn't appear to open, and it does look purple. But the center of this one is bigger, like it could have some seeds in it. Let's take a look. I know you all can't see what I'm doing, and I could barely see what I'm doing. What a day, what a day. Yeah, no, it does not appear to have any seeds. That was just a center that was purple. All right, y'all. So this appears to be purple to me, but I do need to see it bloom just for absolute confirmation. I need to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to come out in the morning and take a look at it, see if there's any blooms on it. I only took 3 clippings, and so we're going to go from there and take a look. I'm probably going to write the company because all of the Rose of Sharon's on the shelf were marked to be white with reddish centers, and so I'm not happy about it. They probably won't do anything. You know how a lot of companies are these days. They don't really care, but I care. If you say you're selling something, then that should be the thing that the people purchase, not something else. And I do understand that things cross, but when you're cultivating something to sell, you have to isolate and make sure that it's not crossing to the best of your ability. And if you think it is, then you don't sell that thing. Because me, myself, I don't like buying something, putting it in my landscape to rip it out. And purple doesn't go in my landscape. So if it's definitely purple, it's going to have somewhere else to go, because in the back landscape is not it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try 2 different things. And the first thing is putting it in soil. I'm trying to keep it from falling over because that cup is not too deep and it's going to fall over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip these leaves off. And you all can't see what I'm doing. So let's move you all down so that you can see what I'm doing, so that you're not looking at me. Hold on. Okay, I'm on my messy workstation, so don't judge. This is my messy workstation. It is what it is. I'm going to move that over for just a minute. And what I was telling you I'm doing is I'm pulling off these leaves. Now, the nodes where I pull those leaves off, that should be where you get roots. They could also come from the bottom, but it just all depends. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make several cuttings out of this. So let's move you all back so that you all can see, because y'all are a little close. So I'm going to try to get probably about 6 nodes. Oh, hang on a minute, y'all. I was trying to move that cup, but that's okay. We're just going to move it over like that. I'm going to cut it here at an angle so that at the top right there, I'm going to cut it at an angle just in case water gets on it, that it does not sit and rot the top of that cutting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is a cutting that I'm fully aware that this is the bottom. So I'm going to cut the bottom straight, just like that. And I need to sharpen my shears, so ignore that. I haven't sharpened them yet, but I will. And I'm going to take some rooting hormone, and I'm going to dip it in the rooting hormone. Now, you're supposed to not do that, but this is what I'm doing. Now it has 3 leaves on it. I'm going to take one of them off, and I'm going to cut this leaf down and that leaf down, and I'm going to put it in this container over here. We're going to put that back in the water. We don't want it to lose too much moisture. So I'm going to do that. All of these. All I did was I took a little stick and made a hole. That way my rooting hormone is not rubbing off. And then I plunge it down deep in that hole like that. And I'm just going to push that soil around like that, call it a day. And I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of these clippings. I'm going to show you all real time. It's going to pull a couple of the leaves off, and I'm going to cut it probably about here, like that, at an angle. This is going to go back in the cup, keep it moist. I'm going to take this leaf off and this leaf off. I'm going to cut this leaf like that. I'm going to put this in some rooting hormone like so. And then I'm going to take this stick and I'm putting this around the edge of the pot so that it can kind of sort of stay moist. And then I'm putting it in the pot like that. And I was going to put this in the greenhouse, but I think I'm going to put this in the house and keep an eye on it. So let me fill this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took 2 of the twigs and I cut them down and stuck them in the container. I have 1 twig left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing, cut it down, but well, not the exact same thing. Let's move this over here. I'm going to take this twig and I'm going to see if it will root in water. So I'm just going to cut it like that and stick it in water. Just take the leaves off, and both of these are going to go in the house because, and that's something I don't generally do, but because I want to keep an eye on it, because I will lose sight of this if I put it in the greenhouse. It's just that some things just get out of my sight, you know. You have all the wonderful intentions in the world, but things happen, you know. And so I am just cutting it down, and putting a couple pieces in some water. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to see which method works fastest, which will get the better result. And so I am just clipping off these leaves. It won't need these as it's trying to put down roots. So I am just going to cut all of these leaves off, trying to take my time because I can go too fast and end up ruining something, which I didn't intend on doing. And so I'm just going to cut these in half. It seems like there's something on this leaf. I don't know what, so we're gonna, matter of fact, I'm just gonna take this leaf off. It's, whatever it is, I don't like the look of it, and it's not really coming off, so I'm just going to just cut that leaf off. Okay, then I'm gonna take this, and I didn't really put any rooting hormone on the others. Matter of fact, I didn't put any because there's rooting hormone in the water. So I have 1 stem in the water and the others in a container. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these leaves and I'm going to brush them off onto the floor or the ground because I'm outside. I'm going to brush them off onto the ground and clear up my mess. And there doesn't appear to be any seeds. So I'm just going to brush this off to the ground. Moving that over there. just like so, just to get this kind of cleared up a little bit. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plastic bag over this pot. I'm hoping the plastic bag that I brought from inside is going to be large enough. I will clean this up later. This is just going to be composted. That's why I'm putting it on the ground, because I'm going to grab it, put it in the compost. So we grab our container. Now this soil was already wet when I put the clippings in it. I'm going to put some more water in here and let it seep these in. That way there are no air pockets. We don't want any air pockets around those clippings. I'm going to let that water run off into this pot right there. It's going to run down in there. And then I will bring it in the house. But before I do that, I'm going to take this reused plastic bag. And it's not running out yet. So I'm just going to move it over so you all can see. Hopefully this will work. If not, it's not going to work. So I'm going to go get another plastic bag. Just something that I have in the house. Perhaps maybe a Ziploc. So what I'll do is I will move this back over here. And I will put this over this cup to try and keep moisture in. Make it like a little greenhouse. You don't necessarily want it to touch the clippings, but I'm just gonna do it like that, okay? And then this is gonna go in the house. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, see if any roots start to form. And I'm going to get just like maybe a little Walmart bag or some kind of bag from the store and put over this one and do the same thing. And this one is going to go in the house. So let's check. All right, so I have a plastic bag I grabbed from inside of the house. I'm just going to place it over the top like this, just to kind of give it a little bit of a greenhouse type of feel. I'm just going to knot it a little bit down here if I can. Nothing too tight. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Y'all probably can't even see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to put a little knot in it so it doesn't easily come off. And I'm going to sit this in the house and keep an eye on it. It'll probably take about a month, 4 to 6 weeks before I see any growth, but that's plenty of time to get a nice established plant and see about finding some new homes. And if this does work and it does end up being purple, then I'll do this again with the other stems that I have and get them made into little plants and to someone else's house, because like I mentioned, purple is just not what I want in my garden. All right, everybody. I'm done for the evening. Oh, hummingbird. I get so distracted. I've watered everything. I put down some diatomaceous earth on a couple of new pots. I did a little bit of harvesting. Didn't take you all along with any of that, but sometimes when we get in the garden, we just need to do what we need to do, and that might not mean taking you all along. And so I apologize. I know you all don't see a lot. You haven't seen a lot lately, but if you've been watching my videos, the last few videos, oh, hummingbird, they just kind of flying around. I think y'all know why. I just need a little peace and quiet. And so today I am going through the garden, cutting things back, getting ready for fall, getting ready for winter, sowing flower seeds, looking at what's coming up, and just trying to make a plan. My neighbor is watering, so the orchard area is getting a little extra water today. I am not mad at it. All right, y'all. I have to do some harvesting of the butterfly pea. The butterfly pea has turned into a magnificent arch, and maybe in the next video I'll show you all what it looks like. But I think my neighbor and I are going to go for an evening walk, so I need to go. I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank you all for leaving comments, subscribing to the channel, sharing my videos, just being here, because you could be anywhere. You could be watching other people who are actually trying to teach you how to garden. My channel is not well, I can't really say, y'all, I am in the hummingbird highway because they are just zooming by. Anyway, um, I know that people learn things from me and my channel. I hear that all the time. Thank you for making things easy and simple and basic and just kind of showing. I'm more of a let me show you what I'm doing. Let me tell you how I'm doing it. And if you're new and you gain knowledge from that, I am over the moon by that. But I know there are a lot of channels out here who are really trying to do bigger and better things, and I'm grateful for all the things that come my way. And if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That means it wasn't meant for me. And so I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. I'm not a professional. I learn as I go. I'm continuing to learn even after all these years of trial and error and putting things in the ground and putting things in soil and moving from here, there, and everywhere. And so it's always a learning. um, I'm always learning. And so I don't always look at myself as being someone who is teaching, even though I do know that many are learning from me. I get emails and phone calls from friends and strangers that say, or messages on here saying, thank you so much. So I'm grateful for all of you all. And I want to say thank you again for watching, because like I said, you could be watching anybody. There are a ton of people on this platform who are trying to teach you how to grow in your space. And I'm showing you in mine that growing is possible no matter what space you're in. And you can do it in whatever way suits you and your budget. So, yeah, there's that. So, thanks again. Y'all can hear the water. I know y'all probably heard that. the, the water is coming all the way over here on the patio. So, I think it's time for me to wrap it up. So, until the next time, again, thank you very much for all of your love, support, and appreciation. It is greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you in the next one. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it, because there's always something going on over here. And like I said, I know people are learning from me, showing you what I'm doing. So I'm not going to lie, I don't know what I'm doing next. I was going to say I'll probably be in the kitchen canning something, but in all honesty, it's still too hot. And I don't want to turn the stove on. So until the next time, bye for now.